Oh, hello. We're live. And do I look hot? Not in like the hot girl way, but just hot? I am. Because it's warm in my apartment here in California this week. Welcome to Who's Your Caddy, a weekly DFS golf show. And while there are plenty of shows out there giving you tools and advice, thank you so much for tuning in. This isn't your typical DFS show. We are going to discuss the news and share information that you might be missing in making your final picks. We'll also give you our top 3 core picks to help you decide as well. Are you ready? I think we are. I think, maybe, I hope. Cooling myself off. Anyway, again, welcome to Who's Your Caddy. Tonight, we are not talking about the British Open. Surprise, it's not the British Open, it's the Scottish Open, and we're not talking about it either. Tonight, we are talking about the Barbasol Championship. What is that, you ask? Well, it is a co-sanctioned event with the DP World Tour. It's taking place in Kentucky. But before I get in too deep, let me bring in my co-host, Adam Hallas, at Mr. Hallas on Twitter. Woo! 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 Clap, clap. Hey, Wendy. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in like you do every week. Adam, I've already discussed how it's like 1,000 degrees in my little apartment here. What is it like in your neck of the woods? How was your day? What's new? Fill us in.
Well, my air conditioning is working nice so far, knock on wood. But yeah, been a busy day trying to reflect on my last week, which was so up and down. It was a weird week. I guess that kind of happens at Birdie Fest, right? There's a lot of shifting, a lot of moving, and a lot of people just a lot of golfers around Saturday, Sunday, just not giving two shits. But yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, my only consolation to last week was I gave good advice. I gave good advice on 3 people, and that's the minimum, I guess, I can ask for.
Yeah, my cores were Adam Hadwin and Tyler Monty, and boy, did they shit the bed.
Whoever blended our core picks feels like I do right now.
Yeah, although Glover did pretty well.
Yeah.
I had JT
I did
Poston.
not play naturally.
Yeah, I had JT Poston. I did play Chris Kirk. Overall, you have to get sneaky crazy in these Birdie Fest. And speaking of sneaky crazy, this tournament is I think it's going to be a fun tournament. You're going to have to really look at the data and have faith in yourself to pick a lot of these guys. The guy I really like for this tournament was Troy Merritt, and I think the PGA called. They're like, "Hey, man, we got a spot open for you." He's like, "Fuck yeah, I don't want to play this shithole."
Heck yeah.
So let that be a note. You'll see Troy Merritt in both tournaments. If you're playing DFS, do not pick him for the Barbasol. He will not accrue points.
Oh, well, man, I did not actually know that. So I'm glad that you called that out. Although I did not have Troy Merritt on my radar. So that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
What people should know is that this tournament, the Barbasol Championship, is taking place in Kentucky. I have a lot of family in Kentucky, and I did check out the weather. Did you look at the weather?
I did. There's somebody I know that's actually on the course. He's playing the pro-am, and
Ow!
so they got a little bit of rain, but I think with the drought and stuff, it's going to be playing tight and fast.
Well, I just don't like when they have to play in the rain. A lot of guys struggle with that, even the best. And it looks like there is a really good chance of rain for Friday and Saturday morning. And when it's not raining, it's going to be sunny AF, which with no clouds and a high humidity level equals hot AF. Low 80s, but still, like, it's in the low 80s here right now, and I am like burning up. Oh goodness. Really? You have somebody you know playing in the pro-am? That is so fun. Did he tell you how the course is playing?
Yeah, he did.
Are you going to go over that? Am I stealing your thunder?
No, you're not stealing my thunder.
Well, what I did notice, and maybe then you can tell us if this is true or not, in comparison to the average PGA Tour course, it looks like this one's shaking out that you're going to need that combination of distance and accuracy. And with this field, that's pretty much non-existent in tandem. We have some people that are close, but how is your friend saying that the course is playing?
There's really no threat. So the course is pretty wide. The rough is average. Looking at the stats before he started playing, this course offers up to be one of the easiest courses in the PGA tournament.
Why is it calling for accuracy, do you think, in comparison? Like when I'm looking at the course fit tool, for instance.
I think those that it's probably trying to tell you that it needs a good ball striker. So somebody that's can gain a lot off the tee to green type of person. That being said, yeah, this course plays 3 strokes. Like the average person gains 3 strokes here for the average player when they play here. The cut line has been -3, -3, -4 from last year. Holes 11, 8, 5, and 15 have a 3% or higher chance for eagle, and you have almost a 50% chance or better to birdie it. So those are all par 5s. It's not a super hard course. Ball striking does gain a lot more strokes here than the short game does. So I think that's why the course fit tool is saying, hey, you might want to look at somebody that's a little bit more on the accurate side instead of just wavered going back and forth.
Okay, that makes sense. So definitely when you're building any sort of weighted model, you're definitely going to want to take into consideration some of this information that Adam just gave us in regards to pars and bogeys and par 5 scoring, for instance, if your tool has that as an option. Yeah, definitely. Oh, so you lay out par 4 scoring as well. Par 5 scoring. What else?
I have shots gained totals, shots gained off the tee. I do have approach, and it's a birdie fest. And so we're going to need that birdie or better percentage, right? And so you're really going to need somebody that's not afraid to be a little aggressive, and somebody that's at relatively decent putting too, right? So, the whom I was always on for the Birdie Fest was Tom Kim. And I thought he would always be good, but lately his putting has not been there. And once you get on the green, you can't be two putting a lot of these putts. Like I was watching the tournament last week at the Rocket Mortgage, and these people were making. Somebody made a 45-foot putt. There's not a lot of bend and break to a lot of these greens. So you know, the green speed's about average. So that's that's just kind of what I'm looking at.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was just like, being that this is one of the easiest or easier courses on tour, it seemed like a lot of emphasis being had on the accuracy, but what you laid out for us makes perfect sense. So I appreciate that. Oh, look. Hey, Hutch. That's really nice of you to stop in and say hi. You don't have to be a golf fan if you want to learn a little bit more about DFS. Although I don't think you're old enough, but you and your dad could set up a lineup, I'm sure. I'm really glad you stopped by. And any football fans, Hutch just became the new co-host with Luke Sawhook on a new fantasy podcast. So be sure to check them out on Twitter and see what's new with them. Friends of Club Fantasy for sure. All right, where were we? Okay, we've talked about what to look for. We know that this is not a star-studded field. There are a handful of names that will stand out to the casual fan as they're setting up their lineups. But otherwise, you really need to pay attention to the data, as you've already alluded to, Adam. So tell us who you've got and why.
Who I have and why. Well, let's just bring up who I'm looking at and why I'm looking at them. The first person I have is Chad Ramey, and he's got to be a household name in the PGA fan, right? Not really.
He did have like one breakout moment.
Yeah, he did. The reason I'm picking Chad here is because he's trending fairly good for these Birdie Fest type of tournaments. His ranking, for putting isn't bad. His approach and off the tee is average. His shots gained total is average. But really what I'm banking on is this Birdie Fest type of mindset. John Deere, he was tied for 42nd. Rocket Mortgage tied for 17th. Traveler is tied for 38th. And so that's what I'm looking for. Birdie Fest is his thing. He was cut at the RBC Canadian. He was cut at the Memorial, which were harder tournaments. So I like Chad Ramey on this one.
I like it. Except I don't like that I can't play him this week on my fantasy league because he's not playing in the Scottish Open.
Yeah, that other tournament that has all the bigger name players.
Other tournament. Who else you got?
I have James Hahn. Again, I think he's a Birdie Fest type of person here, and out of the other names that have been playing here. So with these type of tournaments, they kind of invite people from all around there to kind of fill up this card. So you're getting like a lot of World Tour players coming in. You have a lot of like Craft Corn Ferry Tours players coming in. But I like James Hahn. He did okay to John Deere. His off the tee in the rank for this field is actually 8th. So I really like his ball striking. He's average for shots gained total. His putting's okay. His approach, no bueno. But I'm really hoping the other stuff kind of picks up. Because
I feel like that's the commentary that's like going to be running.
Yeah, this tournament doesn't offer like the things where things are just a clearer picture. A lot of these players are coming over from the World Tour. When we start looking at third-party tools and data modelers and stuff like that, the data is incomplete. So you have to piece it from different things. And so you really have to kind of put your faith into, oh, I hope he's just going to do it because he did well at the John Deere. He did get cut the Rocket Mortgage and Travelers, but I think he has things figured out.
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And rounding out for my final pick, Justin Lohr. Wait. No, who else? I put Lucas Glover on here. He's been playing awesome on these Birdie Fests. He's going to be super owned, like high owned. Just the exposure there is going to be off the charts. But the other person I have to kind of supplant that is Justin Lohr. I think Justin came in 8th at the Rocket Mortgage. And so I think he's going to be doing pretty well. He withdrew from the John Deere right at the last minute because I had him in my lineup, so I had to go and change everything. But he's ranked 4th in this field for putting. So he's going to really do well there. Approach, he's ranked 10th. So he's going to do pretty well there. Off the tee, yikes, 77th. But
Yikes.
such shots gained total, he's 18th. So I think he kind of shakes out okay. Again, with this field, you can't get hung up on that one significant stat because they're all going to be like that.
Yes, they are. And I felt like a little, I don't know, discombobulated because of that very thing. Like, I want to find the player that checks all the boxes, but honestly, that's just not going to happen this week. So my favorite picks, I'm not necessarily in love with Taylor Pendrith. It looks like Vegas and the greater DFS world is in love with Taylor Pendrith. His approach is a little bit better than average. He's got a decent putt. It's just around the green, not great. And his accuracy absolutely blows. So he's going to bomb it off the tee. But being that, as Adam mentioned, these are wider fairways, he can potentially get away with that. What I don't like about this tournament is when you look to set up your lineup on DraftKings, you're going to notice that these bigger names, the most recognizable names, are also the most expensive for your roster. So you're going to have to choose wisely. The next one I really like, I actually do really like Kevin Streelman. He's got some good course history here. He seems to be the most balanced player in my pool of players that I'm putting together. He's not the longest off the tee, but he does have accuracy, and he's better than average in his approach. I like those odds.
He's the poor man's Matt Kuchar. He doesn't have the kind of eyes, though.
Poor man's Matt Kuchar. Okay, we'll give him that. But he's also quite pricey still, in the high 9s at 9.9K. So if you're going to try and play Taylor Pendrith and Kevin Streelman, I've got a couple others that are on the completely opposite end, which I did not plan it this way. So I'm a little nervous. But Sean O'Hare, again, really good course history, which is why I kind of looked at him to begin with. He's not very long off the tee. He does have some accuracy. His approach, pretty rough. So, we're talking about balance in all of these. The nice thing about Sean O'Hare, 7.2 on DraftKings. So he's going to be budget friendly for you. And then Michael Gligic, he pops up every now and then and does something decent for us as a plug and play kind of player. Not my favorite by any means, but again, good course history, and actually happens to be trending upwards. So He is one of those players that you're like, shoot, I only have $6,600 left in my salary cap. Well, there you go. You plug in someone like Michael Gligic. I don't know. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Michael Blue Blay.
Yeah.
So we've got some comments popping up in here. We have got Justin. Welcome to the chat. He's got Steele as the captain in one of his Rainmaker lineups. Let's go. Woo! I really do like Streelman. I mean, when we talked already about that course history, and he has it.
The one thing I do not like about Streele, and this is coming from a guy with gray hair, I don't think he. I hope he does okay with the heat.
Hey, James Hahn is in his 40s as well. 41. Streelman's 44. So I looked it up because I felt the same way about James Hahn, but you know, it happens. But he is not a spring chicken for sure. Streelman. I was trying to pull up course history, and then of course I lost everything I was looking at, and it made me look at Renaissance Club, which is where I was panicking before.
Oh, because the Renaissance Club is for the
different course. So fourth, he's played 4 rounds here at this course. He placed second last year. That's the only time he's played in this tournament was last year. And the expectation is high. Let's just put it that way when you look at all of the data. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Justin, for calling that out before I was able to push all my buttons and find it. I appreciate you. So yeah, I like Streelman. That's probably my very favorite pick. We'll go with that. We normally, if you're new to this show, we normally give what we call our WTF pick. But in all honesty, these are all WTF picks because exactly everything we've been talking about. We're not able to narrow down on that one player that you truly love, that truly checks all the boxes, but it's going to be fun. That's for sure. Anything else to add?
Have fun. It's going to be one of those tournaments where it's going to be one of those weekends, actually, where you wake up Thursday morning and one of the tournaments is going to be pretty much over for the first round, and then you get to pick up on the second one on the Barbasol. So
there you go. Yeah, you're definitely going to still want to go out there, watch some of our other friends that do golf podcasts, what's going on with the Scottish Open, make some bets, but play the Barbasol. It's going to be a good time. Some of my favorite picks happen like Friday. I'll like to go in and see who's going to make the cut. I'll make some bets on that. Who's going into the weekend. On Saturday, I like to go in and who's going to make top 10, top 20 in props. Those are fun for me to just kind of see how things progress. I don't know if you like to do that, Adam, but I like to do that.
Yeah, I like looking at the live in-round stats to see how people are doing.
Yeah, for sure. And again, before we go, this isn't the easiest tournament to find. So I'm just going to walk through it for you. When you open up your DraftKings and you tap golf, you're going to be asked before you even choose which tournament, you're going to be asked which style of DFS you'd like to play. And then you get to see whether you're going to play the Genesis Scottish Open, the Barbasol Championship, which happens to be the alternate PGA tournament this week. And there's even, you can bet now on the LPGA tournament. And it looks like you can even bet on the Tournament of Champions, formerly known as the Senior Tour. So there's a lot of exciting betting happening this weekend. Let's go out and make some money together.
Have fun.
Have fun. Just to recap, Adam has Chad Ramey, James Hahn, Lucas Glover, Justin Lower, Kelly Has, Taylor Pendrith, Kevin Streelman, Sean O'Hare, Michael Gligic, and I've dropped those all in the chat across platforms for you in case you weren't taking notes. So until next week, stay cool, which I'm going to attempt to do here in a moment. And as Adam has said, have fun.
Yeah.
Find us on Twitter at Mr. Hallas, at Kellyanne Phoenix. Thank you so much, Club Fantasy, for hosting our podcast. And thank you, Women of Fantasy Football, for supporting my little dream of sharing about golf. That's it, I guess. See you next week. Should I play the music? All right.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing it.
This is
Bye.
our 30th episode. Bye.
Oh my gosh, Adam! I even said I needed to say that. You guys, it's our 30th episode. Thank you so much for being so supportive through 30 episodes. High five. Is that a high five?
Mm-hmm.
High five. We'll see you next week for our 31st episode. And now I'll play the music.